Good afternoon, family. Welcome to Inspirations by Terry. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Inspirations by Terry. I like to talk about the Most High, Yahuah, and I'd like to inspire all to trust in Him and to try Him because He's the best thing that has ever happened to me. And if you try Him, I'm sure He'll be the best thing that ever happened to you. If you're a return viewer, thank you for coming back. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And today, I want to talk about obedience, the importance of obedience. Why even bother serving the Most High Yah if we're just going to be disobedient, if we're just going to live any old kind of way, act any old kind of way, and not be the light that He has called us to be, right? So today we're going to talk about obedience. And what is obedience? In the dictionary, I believe it's Merriam, it says, okay, my papers are flying because I brought a fan out here with me. It says obedience is compliance with an order, request, or law, or submission to another's authority. Children are taught to show their parents obedience. That's what it said in the dictionary. What is spiritual obedience? Spiritual obedience is simply hearing the word of Yahuah and acting on it. It implies an aligning our will to Yahuah's will. Yahuah is the Most High. He has a name. We always call Him generically by the name of God, but He has a name, and His name is Yahuah, in case you didn't know. So it says it implies aligning our will to Yahuah's will and what Yahuah has asked us to do. It is when we completely surrender to His authority. That is what obedience is. It's when we surrender our will for His, because we know that His will is best for us, right? And what is an example of obedience? An example of obedience is following Yeshua, our Savior's example as a disciple. He told, when in Matthew and Mark and Luke and John, He told His disciples, he spoke to them in parables. He had them follow Him through the wilderness, through His wilderness experience, and He was showing them and teaching them the principles of the kingdom of the Most High Yah. And there's most of the principles are so simple. It's just a matter of us obeying and being obedient and just applying the word of Yahuah to our lives. It's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to do it, to act on it, and to live by it. Doesn't happen overnight, but the more that we hear the word, read the word, pray and seek the Most High Yah, the more it will become easier for us to be obedient, for us to to eliminate, or not eliminate, but for us to relinquish our will and be more like the Father and what His word is calling for us to be. There's nothing like, someone, you meeting someone or knowing someone. You could have, most of us, have mothers and family members that, call themselves believers and they go to church, and you're like, I think we all have said this. Well, if that's what it means to go to church and that's what the difference is going to make, I might as well not even go, because look how they act. Look how they talk. Look how they treat me. Is there an example? Is there a difference or an example of Yeshua's teachings in that person's life, in that person's character? Can you see them being obedient to the word of the Most High Yah? A lot of times we can't, because a lot of times people are just hearers of the word and not doers. They don't apply the word of the Most High Yah to their everyday situations, their everyday life. And And so then there's no example, there's no light, there's no testimony there if you're just hearing and not doing. Okay. And it says, the following the rules of society is another term of being obedient, as long as it lines up with the word of Yah. Sometimes you might be asked to do something by someone in charge or society, like a boss, supervisor. You might be asked to do something that's out of character. And if it doesn't line up with the word of the Most High, Yahuah, then no, you wouldn't do that. And you would know that you wouldn't do it because you would know the word, and you would know, like, no, I can't do this because this is not right. So, all right, though that is an example of obedience. Yes, us taking the lessons of Yeshua and following his obedience the way he was teaching his disciples. Why is it important to be obedient? Because you are showing Yahuah that you are willing to obey and you're able to do whatever he asks of you to do. It is a way of worship. It is a way to get closer to Yahuah. It is a way to prepare for wherever he leads you to go, and he leads you to grow as a person. Being obedient is good, because the Bible tells us that our obedience is better than what we're willing to sacrifice. He said our obedience is better than the sacrifice. A lot of times the thing that we want to hold on to, that thing, he said that if we be obedient, it's going to be better than that thing that we're going to sacrifice, whatever that thing may be. Just say, I always use a man because I'm a woman, I'm a married woman, but I wasn't always married. So, you might be serving the Most High. You might be serving the Most High Yah, and you might be dating someone. And you're dating someone, and you guys are fornicating, knowing that you shouldn't be fornicating, because the Bible tells us that fornication is a sin against our bodies, and that's not your husband. So you should not be engaged in any kind of sexual behavior at all. And we know this. And a lot of us know it, but we do it anyway because we think that it's, God's going to forgive me, that it's okay, he's going to forgive me. But the Bible's telling us that if we will be obedient in that situation, right, the thing that we're sacrificing, the giving up of that sexual sin, that he promises that our obedience will be so much better, because if we sacrifice that thing and say, you know what, I'm not, we've been out of order. We've been, really doing this thing wrong, getting up and going to church and acting like, we got it all together, and knowing that we're fornicating and it's wrong, and coming in here and worshiping like we're doing everything right. That's wrong. And I'd rather be obedient than to come in here asking for forgiveness over and over and over and over and over and again. And after a while, it's not even that you're asking for forgiveness. It's just that you just are doing your own thing. You're not even obeying the word of the Most High Yah. You're just living any kind of way that you want to. And then what is that person called? What is a person who just does whatever they want to do when they feel like doing it? That's a carnal person. And the Bible says that the carnal man is enmity against the Most High Yah. They don't go together. So if you're living carnally and just doing whatever you want to do it when you want to do it, you're on your own. Are you even walking as a believer? You're not even a believer, because you're walking on your own. You're not being obedient. That's the best example that I can give. There's so many more, but that's the best example that I can give. And then if you sacrifice that act, it might be Yahuah's way of showing you that this is not the man for you. Because if you say to him, I don't want to do this anymore, and he says, well, like the first couple times he's okay with it, but after that he has attitude, and he, now he doesn't want to see you on Friday nights no more or whatever, and things end up getting more distance, then that person wasn't right for you anyway. And then your obedience was a blessing because, look what God, look what, not God, look what Yahuah showed you, that he has someone better for you, someone who's willing to be obedient like you're willing to be obedient, and that potentially that was the plan of the enemy to keep you distracted, to keep you from, surrendering and being obedient to the will of the Most High Yah. Okay? All right, so that was my example. And why is it important to be obedient? Why is it important? Because you are showing Yahuah that you are willing. Oh, I think I already did this. That you're willing to be obedient and obey what he asks you to do. It is a way of worship. It is a way to get closer to Yahuah. It is a way to prepare for whatever and wherever he leads you to go. All right? That's why it's important, because obedience is very important. It's one of the greatest acts you can do is obedience. I mean, besides faith, obedience is the next best thing. He says here that an example in the Bible of obedience is when Yahuah asked Abraham to take his family to move to an unknown country. Abraham followed Yahuah's instructions, even though it was very hard for him. Going someplace he didn't know, moving all those cattle, moving his wife, his children. And because Abraham obeyed, Yahuah promised to make Abraham into a great nation. And he did. Yahuah rewards obedience generously. When you decide that you're going to be obedient to the Most High Yah, trust me, there are benefits for being obedient. In Proverbs 13:13, it says, he who scorns instruction will pay for it, but he who respects a command is rewarded. So if you do what you're supposed to do according to the word, the Most High Yahuah will reward you. Okay? In Proverbs 16:20, it says, whoever gives heed to instruction prospers, and blessed is he who trusts in Yahuah. Whoever gives heed to instruction, meaning they're being obedient. I hear, I'm going to do, no matter what no matter what, I'm going to obey. And it says that the Most High will prosper, and blessed is he who trusts in Yahuah. Proverbs 19:16 says, he who obeys instructions guards his life, but he who is contemptuous of his ways will die. So if you obey instruction, your life will be guarded. But if you don't and you're contemptuous in your ways, you will die. Okay? John 14:15 says, if you love me, you will keep. If you love me, you will obey what I commands. John 14:15. John 14:21 says, whoever has my commands and obeys them, he is the one who loves me. Do you love him? Do you love Yahuah? Do you love the Most High? If you do, he says, he is the one who loves me, who keeps my commands and obeys them. John 14:23 says, Yeshua replied, if anyone believes me, he will obey my teachings. Yeshua taught us a lot. And he said, if you love Yahuah, you will obey his teachings. What are the rewards of being obedient? Yahuah promises you will be blessed wherever you go. If you're obedient, wherever you go, you will be blessed. Your children will be blessed, because he promises that he will bless our children to the third and fourth generation. If we're obedient as parents, our seed will be blessed to the third and fourth generation. Yahuah will protect you. He will be our strong tower. The righteous can run into and be saved and secure in Yahuwah's hands if you are obedient. He will grant you abundant prosperity. He said, if you're obedient, you will eat the good of the land. What's the good of the land? Well, look around and start seeing, start writing down. There's so many things that come with, when you're the good of the land. There's so much good stuff on the land. You name it. He said, if you're willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land, and he will grant you abundant. We know abundant means abundant prosperity. Everything you set your hands on will be successful if you are obedient. The Most High will help you to stand out. You're not going to be trying to stand out, but you're going to stand out because he said that you're going to be the light of the world. And if you light a candle, you don't sit it under, a bushel. You sit it on top of a candlestick so all can see, and you will stand out because you are the light of the world. It just comes with serving the Most High Yah and if you're obedient, you will stand out. And it says obedience shows that you believe in the Most High Yah. Your obedience is like, I believe. If you believe in something and you trust something, you're not going to go against what that person is saying and telling you to do. You're going to be, oh, wow, I'm going to be obedient. And you're going to listen and you're going to obey and you're going to apply those things to your life if you believe in what you are saying that you believe in. It's just like having a mother or father or a husband or a wife, and you tell that person that you love them, and that person tells you, well, if you love me, I want you to, do X, Y, and Z. I want you to call me once a day, check in, let me know you're okay. I want you to be considerate of me and do something, like if something annoys your husband or your wife around the house, and you keep leaving the kitchen a mess, annoys me, can you please clean up behind yourself? Okay. And if you love your wife the way you say you do, you will make effort, and you will take time to do like the little simple things that will make them happy. Like, it's just simple. When you love someone, I'm telling you, you don't have to tell them that you love them. Words don't mean anything. Your actions will speak, and they will speak loudly and they will speak clearly, because love is an action word. It's demonstrated. Everyone can say, I love you all day long, but if you're not showing it, keep your words to yourself. It doesn't even matter, because love is an action word. All right. And I want you guys to realize that being obedient is very, very important, because if you're not, you're showing the Most High Yahuah that you don't love him, because you're not keeping his commandments. And if you're going around doing whatever you want to do because you can, then you're just out there on your own, because after a while you will change your ways. After a while you will let some things go. If you truly love Yahuah, you will change. You might not change overnight, but there is a progression, and it's an ongoing progression. You will always, I keep kicking my camera, I'm sorry. You will always find yourself being transformed and growing. He said from glory to glory. He will take you from glory to glory, that you're always growing in the Most High Yah. You're never staying still. You're always growing. You're always growing. Be obedient. Trust him. He has big plans for you. Some of your prayers and some of the things that you're waiting on is only an act of obedience away from him letting go and saying, oh, here she is. I've been waiting for her to get into line. Here he is. I was waiting for him to get into line. I want to bless him with this, but he's, a knucklehead. He won't even be obedient. I'm telling him to do this and he's doing that. If you love the Most High Yahuah, obey him. Keep his commands. Okay? Be blessed, and I hope that this helped you, and apply the word to your life. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on my next video. Be blessed. Bye.